Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cinderella. I am just sharing a life here. Basically, let me see. If you're new to this channel, I share my experience through mental health, personal development, everything related, all my things I'm learning from life basically. So today I want to talk about something that has been lingering. It's about healing my relationship with my parents. And for that one is, I'll start with, it took me 10 years to miss my parents, and now I miss them just mainly because I have healed. Yeah, and it's taking a lot of work to heal my relationship with them, and it was painful when I was going through the whole process of healing, but it had me kind of like become an observer with my emotions and all of that, taking a look at things and then finally getting to see them as human beings. I think when we're growing up, like, we always have this perception that our parents are perfect, so we expect a lot from them, and for a lot of us we end up being disappointed. And I'm not saying that my relationship with my parents were like that. It wasn't the best, to be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't the best, and they made it unbearable for me in the house that I just wanted to run away. I just wanted to go, stay far away from them. So when I even got comfortable staying in school, I could go years and months. Yes, I actually went years without missing them. I mean, we'll talk, yeah, but there wasn't that. I know people feel like, oh, they're your parents, you're supposed to miss them, or like generally people think that, okay, you're supposed to miss people, but I feel like there are so many things to it. Yeah, sometimes you may not have created that bond yet that you want to feel to miss people and all, but I find it a learning process for me, to be honest. Like, our relationship wasn't the best for me, usually with my mom. It was very abusive, and not physically abusive. People think abuse, when you say abuse, is only physical. No, like, it was both mental, emotional, verbal. Yeah, a lot of verbal abuse. You see, when people talk about, and like, I'm not sharing this to make you think that, or to even judge my mother. No, she's my mom. I love her a lot, but I felt like she was doing the best that she could, because if that was our relationship, I wonder what she experienced like on her own. And it just made me kind of like, when I got to the point of healing and forgiveness, it made me show her a lot of grace, because if I reviewed everything that happened, she was actually experiencing her own stuff. And not trying to make excuses for her, but I think the reason why that I am so happy that I healed is because if I decide to have a child today, I never want to treat my child like that. I never want to make my child feel that way, the way I felt. I don't want to. You know, when people say that they experience bullies, body shaming, for a lot of us, your first body shamer, slut shamer, it's your parent. It could be your mom or your dad, and you know what, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. I think it's a lot of unlearning, especially with our social culture. It's a lot of unlearning for us. It's a lot of healing that needs to happen, because for me, my mother was the first person to call me names, mainly. Like, I reviewed my relationship with her, and I'm like, she's the reason why most of my confidence was broken at some point, why I learned ugly, I felt ugly, because they think that they can control everything. That's the truth. They think that they feel like they know everything, they know what's best for you. I mean, we can argue that. I think it's still 50-50, but I feel like it gets to the point where ego plays in, and they think they want to control everything and mold you into what they want, not essentially who you like or who you want to be. So for me, our relationship was a struggle, to be honest. Like, in high school, and I'm a very stubborn child, let me put it like that. I'm stubborn when it comes to me, and put it that way. There are certain things I like, and you tell me you shouldn't like this. Do you get like you must do this? I push back. That was me. And I think essentially one of them was that my mom said something like, in our village, because I'm from Abia actually, she said women and men are not friends. I'm like, who are you talking to? And then I made all my friends boys. Rebellious. I'm very rebellious. So because it didn't make sense to me. Like, if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to resist you, basically. So like, even with my dad, people talk about, oh, daddy's girl, and well, that really was happening. I think a lot of times, parents use their roles to kind of like substitute for actual parenting or creating a connection with their children. And I'm glad that I was able to evaluate everything, because I wish I did this Father's for a time we Fella podcast here. We did this Father's Day. We're evaluating like your relationship with your dad, and there was a question: is what do you wish your dad did? For me, I wish he was kinder to himself and worked hard to build like actually a bond or relationship with his children. The thing is that you will love your parents regardless. You crave wanting to be close to them, and for me, I dealt with a lot of abandonment issues with them because they were unable to show up for me the ways that I wanted to. They did show up in school. I really needed to see them in school. And then I was talking to a friend. She's an older friend. She's married. She has children. And I was checking for the dog. So we're evaluating something. And I talk about how I started to lose trust from my parents. I don't trust them. Like, I didn't trust them to an extent. There are certain decisions that I will not leave to them because it felt like they were not going to have my best interest. So when I was sharing this with her, she was just shouting, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Because these things are not big things. They are tiny things. But then you don't know that with each thing you do, you start to lose trust when it comes to your children. Your children start to trust you less. Your children because trust, I think we see trust, like we've always known trust like a big thing without really understanding it. I'm going to recommend you listen to Brené Brown, Braving, yeah. And it's about trust. And she breaks down certain things that makes that whole big trust what it is. And when you evaluate certain things, you're not showing up for your kids feel like they can't speak to you, your kids feel like you don't like them. Gradually you're going to lose you're going to create that mistrust with your child. And for me, it took me 10 years to miss my parents. I miss them now because I've healed, and I found a way to accept them for who they are. And we've not had the discussion. I'm still going to have a discussion with them. We've not yet had fully. We've been talking, but we've not yet had fully, especially in like the whole conversation, because there are a lot of things to cover. Yeah. Because I grew up in a big house where we lived with different people, and a lot was going on that I wish didn't happen, but it did. And I think that I am grateful for the person I have become, because it's made me more aware of what the life I don't want to create, or a space I wouldn't want for my loved ones to exist in. My mom created a space that I just wanted to escape from. Both of them, actually. I'm not making. There's a day my brother were talking about something. I'm like, see, they are the same thing. Don't try to say this is better than the other. No, I mean, they needed to do better. I am grateful that I can recognize the things they did well and the things that I wish they did better. And for me, I've been able to forgive, let go, and heal, really, because it's not really about them. I carried anger for my dad for a while, till I got to the point of, you know what, why am I trying to, that's true healing, why am I trying to make him who he's not, basically. They had their own experiences as kids, do you get? They had their childhood, and for a lot of us, you don't really know what that's like. Because for me, I just looked at it like, so imagine the era that my mom grew up in, and me, that is a very disruptive child. I I'm serious. Like for me, I intentionally, even now, I try to not get too comfortable. Yeah, but like, and there's no class for parenting. That's it. Like, I'm glad that now we are more awakened. We are talking about all these things, wanting to be better parents, wanting to show up for our kids differently. But then they didn't have that. They just had religion and certain standards and expectations for being adults. They were not. Now we have more information, more things to read. We have books that talk plainly about these things. I'm still going to recommend Everything is Fucked. Read it, yeah, and it just makes you take a step back and actually look at things, look at it. That, and for us to be better parents, yeah. I did an episode. I said I would like to have a discussion because my podcast is all about these conversations, trying for us to do better, yeah. And it starts with us talking about it, stepping out of ego, like looking at it plainly and seeing where we can improve. And I was like, I would like to have a discussion with different people about parenting, just for us to evaluate the kind of parenting we got. I'm not like, my parents tried to get, but the whole point of this is for us to do better. I always like the idea that certain things we can recognize the best things and also things that we can improve on. I think that's what makes us better human beings. And like, I look forward to that conversation. I look forward to that conversation anyway. So for my mom, our relationship was tricky. I couldn't trust her, like, because I felt she didn't like me. So and it's not like, and you know what's funny? They will think that they are loving you too much and they're trying to protect you, but you are not feeling that way. Because someone, like, there's this, I've forgotten his name, he talks about parents, like child and parent relationship. He even shares his own experience. And then he said something like, you can never love your child too much. What we do is, even with love, we project anxieties, yeah, and you start moving anxiously, you're going to hurt that child. And for me, I look forward to healing, yeah, because I want to be a better parent. I don't want to be abusive towards my kids. I don't want to say certain things that are hurtful. I don't want to make your home, your primary home, an unsafe space for you to exist, that you want to run away or you want to go and never come back. No, I don't like the idea of you are too self-centered, you're not paying attention enough for you to be a present parent. So healing relationship with my parent, this is just like the overall backstory of what was happening. For me, it took crying. I cried. See, I'm a crier. Let's just put it out there. It's not like I didn't used to cry before, but it's like, when I feel that is a good release of emotions. And let your heart break. Sometimes your parents are the first people to break your heart. People say I've never experienced a broken heart. I'm like, okay, maybe there are some things that you don't recognize as a broken heart, but that is what it is. It's pain. And sometimes your parents can be the first people to break your heart, well, and they will do it. People you love are the people that can hurt you, basically, because there is that you being vulnerable to them and they are able to hurt you in that way. So for me, I cried, I wrote, I journaled, I wrote letters saying the things that I want to say, because to be honest, there are some things you want to say to your parents that can be hurtful, and some of them don't need to hear it. There are some things they need to hear, but there are some things that it's just you processing. And as kids, we don't have the emotional intelligence or even the capacity to think through things. We are more self-centered in that age range where we think that everything that is happening is about us. If someone doesn't like us, there's something wrong with us. If our parents are acting this way, then it's me. If your parents divorced, then you are the reason. No, I think that as adults, since we are able to think through things, that is, if you allow yourself, if you step out of ego, to be able to be honest, look at things from different sides, and you'll be able to get through it. I think, I'm not saying now, people do this thing that I hate so much. You'll say they are your parents, you should forgive them. No, you shouldn't. Don't. Like, I've forgiven mine, but listen clearly. if you parents did certain things that you can't move past, that you need that discussion, then have that discussion. And I suggest even go to therapy. I think therapy helps me. I don't have money for therapy, so I am self-therapizing right now till I am rich enough to go to therapy. That if I still like, I'm working through this, because every day I'm working through things. Even right now that I'm talking, I'm also healing another phase of my life, which has to do with romantic and love relationship, basically. But I'm glad I'm able to talk about all these things and share it, because I think we underestimate how much, wow, I'm not crazy. So you too, you experience that, you understand what I'm feeling. Yeah, that can help a lot. So I journaled. I went through it, because for me, I think there was something I kept expecting my dad to behave a certain way. I kept expecting my mom to behave a certain way. I kept wanting that connection. When you see people will be on the phone talking to their parents. I don't have that with my parents. We talk once in a while. Yeah. Now I am more grounded and centered and understanding that these are the kind of people they are. I'll call them. You get? I'll call them. My mom kept complaining one time that I don't call her. I'm like, but you never call me. Yeah. Then one day she's like, do you know why I never call you? She's like, I will die of anxiety if you don't pick up. And I know my mom is an anxious person. Like, she can fear. So it kind of like, and I thought that, you know what? All I just need you to flash me. If you want to talk to me, just flash me. Do you get? And then I'll call you back. If you can't take the whole, wait, not me answering, do you get? Flash me and I'll see it and call you back. But me, I've made the extra effort of calling. Yeah, because I can't change that. I wanted that. I wanted for my parents to care for me in that way, and they are different from us. I can build that relationship with my child eventually. Yeah, if I when I decide to have, or if I ever decide to have a child, by any means, adoption or by birth, anyway. But I can create that. They kind of are more very not flexible when it comes to change, because they are older. Yeah, they're very molded, not like us. Yeah, but I'm glad that I can actually process things and heal this part of myself. It's not been easy, to be honest. It's not easy. I cried so many times, especially because of my dad. I felt like I was always expecting from him, and then I was always being let down. Every time my heart was getting broken because he's not meeting me the way I want to. And it took me to just step back and why am I expecting this person to change? Stop expecting. I'd rather just call you, and instead of being upset or sad about it, I just look at it and I'm glad that I get to call you. I'm glad that you're still here. I'm grateful for the things that you do. The things that you don't, I can find ways to meet you halfway, basically. So like I'm saying, your own journey with your parents can be different. You may need to cut them off completely. You may need to fix your relationship with them, but don't gaslight yourself. Don't let people guilt trip you into forgiving your parents when you've not walked through the process. It's your journey. Don't let people that stupid that silly statement here that they make, they're your parents, so you have to, they're your parents, you must forgive them. No, that to an extent is also self-betrayal, because it's like you're not recognizing your own pain. So when you're able to recognize your pain, when you're able to move past it, and you finally look at them that they are human beings, they are not perfect, they will definitely make mistakes. Even if they act like I know everything, they will definitely make mistakes. And sometimes it just takes you to heal the generational trauma being created. Anyway, I think I'll stop here now. I'm grateful I could share this with you, and if this is you that are going through the same journey, I wish you the best. I hope that the version of you that comes out from this is what you really want, basically. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share with whoever you think needs it, especially your friends. If you think that they need to hear things like this or the things that I share, please share, and don't forget to subscribe.